Aloha. From the beautiful island of Maui. That's such a beautiful greeting. But you know, one of my next favorite greetings, I recently met a person from Ireland, and as soon as I met her, she said, "How you keepin'?" I love that. Don't you like that? How you keepin'? So turn to somebody and say, "How you keepin'?" But perhaps my favorite, there is a tribe in Africa. And when they meet one another, for example, if I met Sherry, I would say, "Sherry, there you are." And she would say, "I am here." I would say, "Cerny, there you are." And he would say, "I am here." Now, isn't that wonderful? I'd say, "Unity Church of Edgewood, there you are." And you'd say, "Well, I am here." Yeah. But have you ever wondered, why am I here? I mean, not just this church, but have you ever wondered, what's my purpose in life? Why am I here? Sure you have. We all wonder those things. And as we really contemplate, why am I here? What is my purpose in life? What is the meaning of life? We have a lot of wonderful guides and guidance along the way. Jesus, who was an incredible enlightened being, said, "We are here because we are the vessel of our Creator." And Jesus was able to master his potential as an enlightened being, a Christed being, and said, "Not only have I done this, but you're created to do it too." If you've studied the esoteric scriptures or a lot of the ancient writings, I love to read a lot of the Greek material, different materials, and if you've ever studied alchemy, you know, the old alchemists were supposed to know how to turn base metal into gold. Well, really, that was a secret language. It meant turning the base metal of your being into the God or the goddess of who you are. That when life said, "There you are," and they said, "I am here," they knew who they were. In Hawaii, in the beautiful Hawaiian language, there's a saying that says, "Ahuvale kanane," and that means, let that which is unknown become known. So when someone says, "Sherry, there you are," and you say, "I am here," I think that we can now, every day when the universe says, "Gloria, there you are," I am here. And add another line to it that says, "I am here to reveal the divine." Would you say that with me together? I am here to reveal the divine. There's a great quote by Meister Eckhart, and he said, "Become aware of what is in you. Announce it, pronounce it, produce it, and give it birth." But I like what Rosita Perez said. She said, "There's only one success in life, and that is to live in such a way that a skilled mortician is going to have a very tough time wiping that grin from your face." You got a good start. I love that smile. Why am I here? I'm here to reveal the divine with such a grin on my face that they're never going to get it off. Amen. Now, I grew up Pentecostal, so you can say yes or amen and you won't scare me. I'll feel right at home. So each of us are here to reveal the divine, to stir up the gift of God that is within us, and to become all that we are in this lifetime. And what I know about each of us is that we each encounter certain places in our life where we really have the opportunity for this to happen. And the first place is when we come to that place called the uninvited. Has anyone ever had an encounter with anything uninvited in your life? This morning, perhaps. Since you've been here, maybe even. Of course we have the uninvited. Maxine, would you stand up? Where are you? I have been just collecting points of trivia, and she's had some uninvited things happen. I realized that she caught on fire 3 times in this church. But listen to this. She has been struck by lightning 3 times. Isn't that true, Maxine? So that was not invited, was it? So you can have your own pew. Uninvited things happen, and you don't know why, but they happen for us to reveal and discover the divine of our being. In 1957, there was a Buddhist monastery in Bangkok, Thailand. Now, this wonderful Buddhist monastery had as its centerpiece a magnificent 10.5-foot clay Buddha that had been there for centuries. But in Bangkok, at this particular time in 1957, a highway was being installed, and it was going right through the middle of this little monastery. So these monks had this incredible task of having to pick up this giant clay Buddha and move it. So they began on this particular day in 1957 to put a crane and lift the clay Buddha, and just as they got it off the ground, it cracked. A crack ran through the front of it. They were absolutely shocked. What are we going to do? So they stopped, and to make things worse, it then started to rain. That's when you say, oh no. It started to rain. So they get tarps and they cover it and they wait and just decide they'll wait until the next day and see if they can figure out what to do. Well, that particular night, the head monk of the monastery was walking around and around and around their idol, this centerpiece of a clay Buddha. And on one of his rounds with a flashlight, he stopped because something caught his eye. And he went under the tarp and he went right up to the clay Buddha and he shined his flashlight and he saw a reflection. So he went and he got a chisel and he did the unthinkable. He whacked off a big piece of this clay and he couldn't believe what he saw. He woke up everyone and they began to chisel away this clay, and what they found was a 10.5-foot solid golden Buddha, solid gold, that is still in Bangkok, Thailand. It is one of the largest. It's called the Temple of the Golden Buddha. Now they began to do some investigating, and they found out that many, many centuries ago that the monks of that time had as their centerpiece a golden Buddha. But a war was ready to take place, and the Burmese militia were coming through, so they didn't want to lose this giant Buddha that they couldn't move, so they covered it with clay, thinking if they just see this big giant clay thing, they'll leave it alone, and they did. But they killed all the other people, and so when someone else found it, they assumed it was a giant clay Buddha. And never would they have known that it was a golden Buddha unless it had to be moved and the ground of its being was shaken. That which was uninvited actually turned out to be an incredible blessing in disguise because it broke open something and revealed more of the divine. Have you ever had a place in your life when you felt like the ground of your being, perhaps now, going through a change, collectively, but I'm sure individually many of you also are going through different kinds of changes in the ground of your being, being shaken either by something that's very inspiration, or it could almost be desperation. And the universe, God is saying, there you are. And hopefully we're able to say, I am here to reveal the divine. The uninvited. Another place that each of us find ourselves invariably is face to face with the unthinkable. Things that you just absolutely thought were impossible. Many years ago, or a few years ago, a reporter was interviewing Oprah Winfrey. You know, used to you had to say, how many of you know who Oprah is? Now I think she's in they have her picture in the encyclopedia if they make this anymore. But someone was interviewing Oprah, and they said, did you know as a child that you were going to do this? And she said, as a matter of fact, someone asked me when I was in grade school. Someone came out to our school and they were asking children what they wanted to do, and someone asked me what I wanted to do, and she said, I don't know, but I know I like to talk to people. And the person said, well, you'll never make a living doing that.